If you were to give advice on a couple dating for, a few years, looking to get married, what are a few questions they must have and align to about money that might be uncomfortable to have those questions, but will actually get you clear on, hey, are we the right match? If you were to give advice on a couple dating for, a few years, looking to get married, what are a few questions they must have and align to about money that might be uncomfortable to have those questions, but will actually get you clear on, hey, are we the right match in
Yeah.
terms of our money mindset, in terms of what we're going to do with money for the next, and maybe you have this question in the first few months of dating, you don't wait 2 years, but what are those questions that people should be asking before they align with someone romantically long term?
Well, there's a couple things to keep in mind. When I'm talking to a young couple about this, and I do often in a marriage seminar or something like that, is or a pre-marriage counseling session or something like that. The number one cause of divorce is money fights and money problems out there. The stress of money and the arguments over money. Okay, and so if you said the number one cause of death is getting killed by a bear on the way to the mailbox, right? Then you would analyze how not to get killed by a bear on the way to the mailbox.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you're going to get married, you should really look at the number one freaking thing. Hello.
This is the number one thing that either hurts or ends marriage, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah. And the odd thing is it's actually circular. It's an infinity loop because it feeds back on itself, meaning that it also, the quality of your marriage is a high data point indicator as to whether or not you build wealth.
Yeah.
And so very few people drag a spouse kicking and screaming into millionaire status, you know?
You mean it doesn't happen by accident?
So I'm bringing the princess with me, right? Come on, baby. And put you on my back and we're going to haul you over there. It doesn't usually work, okay? Or I'm bringing the guy who's lazy and won't work, and I'm going to outwork him, and the lady says, and he's a little boy, and I'm going to be his mommy, and I'm going to drag him all the way into millionaire status. Not working, baby.
Right.
So it goes both directions. But so that's thing one. If it's the number one cause, then yeah, it ought to be something really you discuss. So preventative maintenance, right?
Yes.
It's preventative health. If the number one cause of death is obesity, we probably ought to think about obesity.
I'm curious then. What's a question a woman should ask to her man? Within the first few months of dating about money, where she could get a sense if he's fully honest and integrity with what he's saying, and not just saying something to make her, feel happy. What is a question she can ask to feel like, okay, this man I'm dating and courting and we're getting into this life with, I feel like I can trust him with money for the future.
Yeah. Well, money is a reflection of our values, how we handle money, and that's another reason that it's very important. Because if your values are not aligned, you're going to struggle in any relationship, but certainly in a marriage relationship. And so, talk about the basics of money. Debt. Oh, I love debt. I'm going to use it all the time. I want zero down everything. I'm going to buy a zero down truck. I'm going to buy a zero down stereo. I'm going to buy a zero down couch. I'm going to put nothing down on the house. And you hate debt? Okay, we got a problem. We're going to have to work through this, or we're going to have to, this is a deal killer. Okay, how about saving? I don't think you ought to save money. You can always get you some. I always thought you could out-earn your stupidity. I tried that for years. Didn't work, So my wife, however, is a natural saver, right? So when I joined her club is when we started winning.
Yeah.
So bless her heart, she didn't know this going in, but made a hard life for her. I think you've got to be close. You don't have to be exactly aligned, but you got to be generally thinking, because the problem is this: resentment is going to set in, and resentment will kill love.
Yeah.
The eye roll. When you roll your eyes, that's the beginning of the end.
Right.
Is
that called the Four Horsemen?
Exactly. The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Les Parrott teaches about that, and that's some standard John Gottman background stuff. But that's one of the four, and that's the big one, by the way, of the four. And so if he won't work, he won't keep a job because he just doesn't think that that's that big a deal. It's not a problem. Eventually, you lose respect and the eye rolls.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of the end. That's one of the largest of the Four Horsemen by far. So if you can't keep, now again, my wife and I joke about our differences on saving.
Right.
But they're not that far apart.
Sure.
I mean, we freely admit hers is a natural rhythm, mine's a built-in. I had to decide to do it because I see the benefits of it, so I intellectually will it. It's against my DNA.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, the only reason I save money is so I can give more and have more.
Yeah.
The only reason I don't do it because I get joy out of saving money. It's zero.
Right.
You know, but I can give more and I can buy more.
Yeah. And
those two things bring me joy. Yeah. So there you go. but that again, that at least we though are in alignment that saving is important, even if it might be for two different reasons. If I absolutely believe that it was ridiculous to keep any money saved, and we got a problem. We're gonna have to work through this, or we're gonna have to. This is a deal killer. Okay, how about saving? I don't think you ought to save money. You can always get you some. I always thought you could out-earn your stupidity. I tried that for years. Didn't work, you know. So my wife, however, is a natural saver, right? So when I joined her club is when we started winning.
Yeah.
You know, so bless her heart, she didn't know this going in, but made a hard life for her the first 7 years. But so saving and debt, how about generosity? I don't believe you ought to give. If you give, you end up with less. It's mathematically factual, which it is actually. But that's short-term thinking. That's a finite game instead of an infinite game. Again, using Simon's premise on his book. And so generosity, the things we just talked about. Now, how about living on? Are we going to live in chaos? Or are we going to live with a plan?
Yeah, I want to live with peace or chaos.
Yeah. Are we going to live with future-minded or YOLO? You know, you only live once. Thank God it's Friday. Living for the weekend. Our marriage theme song is Huey Lewis and the News, right? I mean, come on. Is this us? And if it is, then, you know, because what's this tell you? Anyone that lives short-term thinking, we know they're emotionally immature.
Yes. Spiritually
immature. And so you're marrying someone or you're dating someone that's emotionally immature, and they're fun. They're always fun. But it's not fun in the long term because it brings about stress. The fruit of this is nasty. And so, now, do we have to be perfectly aligned on all those things? No, we just need to understand where the other person stands, and are they so far away from us that it's a deal killer?
Yeah.
Because my wife is more of a saver than I am by nature. Saving for me is an intellectual act, a spiritual act of my will. It is not a natural rhythm, okay? She naturally saves everything. Yeah. The leftovers in our refrigerator are grotesque. I mean, she saves everything. So to the extent that I can stay close to her on that, then we've got harmony. We have both obviously.